Hey guys, we're really trying to get to 2,000 subscribers by the end of January. If you'd like to spread the good word of the channel, consider subscribing or blowing up your local Death Star. It really helps spread the good word of the 69th Precinct.
Welcome back, Officers of the Republic. Is your course on Underworld Police Chief AP Gaines here, and today we have 15 3v3 teams for you guys in the early to mid game. Before we get started, as always, don't subscribe, don't like, don't comment. I won't mind. I'm just kidding. Alright, I don't even remember what this video was. Oh yeah, 15 3v3 teams, and if you stay till the end, I'll explain a little bit of strategy for you guys so you can dominate your 3v3 grand arenas in style. Let's hop into squads. I think I set it up right off the bat. It should be pretty apparent. 5v5, 3v3, it does not matter. Slightly nerfed simply because he's not going to get those extra AoEs and go over 5 people and then throw up another AoE and a culling blade. But Darth Vader, yes, the solo master himself, the reason we cry at night. Darth Vader is obviously a good team, so I'm not going to count him. Malik, another good guy. Lots of people don't have him, and it kind of needs to be gear 11 and then maybe even 7 stars gear 12 relict. To be more viable. If not, you can throw him in a Darth Revan team, take that Bastila Shan out, throw her with Palp and Thrawn. You got some good teams there, but we'll leave these guys be. If you see here, I separated my Jedi into 2 distinct teams. I just finished the Lightside Malak event guide, and I was finally able to reward myself by relicking up my Jedi Knight Revan. So now I have a Relic 5 Jedi Knight Revan, but this works still with Gear 12, Gear 11, Relic 1, anywhere in that area. Revan lead with Jolie Bindo, and then split it with Bastila Shan and Yoda. You get 2 max banner teams because of the recovery. Fantastic for those weaker teams, or you can throw them in together, Bastila Shan or Yoda in with these 2 to punch up a little bit. But if you're looking for teams and you're desperate for multiple squads against a large amount of enemies, because in 3v3 you got to fight more teams, this is an effective way to split them up that lots of people should take advantage of. I spoiled it a little bit, but this is the core Padme team. You can throw in a C-3PO there if you're going to use them in a special way, but this is the team that I would go for. I'm likely going to place them on defense, if I'm being honest, if I don't place my Darth Revan on defense, just to give a little stick to my opponent, maybe on the back wall, prevent them from full clearing, which I will talk about at the end of the video, of course, when I have to break down the strategy of 3v3, since so many people have never played a 3v3 match in their life, or maybe have never gotten Kyber in 3v3. I'll explain how that stuff goes on. Darth Revan, of course, Bastila Shan, HK are fantastic if you don't throw Malik in there. The fear and then the shock synergy plus the AoE and the old execution protocol. I just did a little hand sign of me shooting a gun, but I realized that there's no face cam in this video, so you guys are going to have to imagine the glorious leader of the 69th Precinct firing a gun. So, yeah, I hope you guys have great imaginations. This is also another team that these teams both you can save for offense to get a kill because they do high damage, or you can save them on defense to give a nice little roadblock to your opponent. This is how I'm going to break up my first Bounty Hunter team. You got max banner recovery, but not only that, if let's just say this is all gear 12, you can still punch up a little bit because you'll have those big hits, you'll have that recovery ability, you'll have that ability to attack around taunts. This is probably what I'm going to bring up against maybe like a Relic to Night Sister team if I see that on defense. Fantastic team, has never let me down, unless obviously you use CLS against Bounty Hunters, but we won't talk about that. Let's continue. CLS, the team that is born and bred for 3v3. Obviously save them for offense. They do so much damage. You get that first turn stun, you get those assists, you get that recovery. It's fantastic. If you don't have CLS, you're kind of missing out. That's why you guys should follow my farming guides. Get you some CLS quickly and efficiently so that you guys can bring this fantastic team into your 3v3. The one thing I really love about CLS is even if they're not relict, they have the ability to punch up to more powerful teams, meaning you don't necessarily need to gear them all that early, but once you do gear them, you're not going to regret it. Then we have Trea. This is another self-explanatory one. Probably going to throw it up against Geos, not because of all the assists that normally kill the Geos, but because Scion. I have the Zeta on Scion, you might not have the Zeta on Scion, but regardless, if you get some pain up on the board in Scion, oh, I forgot to put my crit immunity mods back on him. I've been forgetting to do that for like 4 weeks at this point. Oh well. If you got some crit immunity on Scion, he can take the brunt of the attack of the Geonosians. And then eventually, if it's Stalin and you're not going anywhere, You can use Nihilus to take out Brood, and then it's just a quick cleanup. But Trea has been the best Geo counter for some time, and this should be no surprise that it's in this list. This is how I'm spreading out my Shakti clones. This is going to be slightly different for you guys because you guys might have a strong 5s. Lots of people like to Relic and Zeta 5s pretty early to help with that clone trooper team. I don't use my clones all that often, so if you want to replace Rex with 5s and then throw Rex as a lead with like Ahsoka or maybe Arc in there too, that's another way to break it up. But since you don't need infinite teams for the early and mid game, this is how I'm running it, but I do recommend that you consider throwing that 5s in there for Rex if your 5s is stronger. If you happen to unfortunately have that Omega on 5s that makes him taunt, that'll at least buy you a little bit of time. But this is a pretty good offensive team. I'm going to throw them on defense, however. Everyone's least favorite team. I hate the OR so much. I'm starting to like them more now that I figured out that Mission actually does a considerable amount of damage. I've been steamrolling OR teams since the dawn of time, so I never quite considered them to be potentially a good team. But if you throw these guys on defense, you can maybe slip up a couple of banners, maybe even get a sneaky kill if you can get a nice armor shred, and then some assists from Mission, something along those lines. You could do a considerable amount of damage, something to think about if you already have Malak. The meme team, minus some droids. I mean, this is going to be great on defense if your guys are slightly stronger than mine relative to your opponent. I'm in that everyone's got basically full relics for like 3 or 4 or 5 teams, so this team is not going to do fantastically well on defense. But if your team of these 3 scales well to your opponent's GP, this is a fantastic team to use. I'm going to throw them on defense just to take up space because I'm going to be saving most of it for offense. This is how I'm breaking up my Geos team. Nothing really crazy here. Sun Fact to taunt if they get around that Brood. I still only have a 4-star Brood Alpha, and I'm totally fine with that. I think I just had a voice crack. And then Spy just to potentially delete someone. Mando and Grief, I threw them in with Dengar because Dengar's leadership is super easy to trigger. Maybe I can. You basically just have to damage the healthiest enemy, which is usually the person taunting. I'm going to save these guys as like a backup team just in case I drop a banner or drop a battle because the assists are... Oh, I spoiled. Because the assists and the potential to quickly get an annihilation off with Mando is fantastic and could be good against a slower team that's maybe already taken a couple of hits. Usually I throw Basilishan in here and run this 3-man in 5v5, but this is another basically stun them, keep them in place, debuff them, reduce their turn meter, kill them before they can take a chance. Slightly better in 3v3, of course, but a fantastic Stunlock team if you're looking for alternatives to get around maybe a weaker team that can be killed easily, or if you got a strong team that's already taken some damage and you need to get them out of the way. This is the Ewok team I am running. I've had some suggestions in a previous 3v3 video a couple of months ago to take out Elder and put in like low gray or something like that, but I simply find this is the most effective for me. It gets the most holds, and this is the team that I'm going to be personally running. Now that's going to be it. I'm going to quickly talk about a little bit of strategy for you guys, if I can hop over in here. It's not going to tell you how many territories that you can place, but in 5v5, it's all about getting banners, right? In 5v5, it's all about getting banners. In 3v3, it's all about one-shotting. So you can spread out your teams like I did, and those are mostly going to be the teams that I use. Some suggestions in there for maybe people who don't have all those teams, just so you get a wide variety. Maybe you can theory craft for yourself and be effective with your own roster. As you know, everyone's roster is not the same. That being said, 3v3 is all about one-shots, so if you're considering undermanning and it's a risky battle, don't do it. Stack your teams. Make sure that you clear every single battle in one shot. That's how you're going to win. Unlike 5v5 where you undersize, you get those banners, you're basically guaranteed a one-shot because you know all the counters. In 3v3, it can get quite hairy, so make sure that you commit. Make sure that you get those one-shots, and I promise you, you'll win. You'll get Kyber and all of that good stuff. All right, guys, thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys later.